Hey everybody, Tarik Rever here. Okay, this is pretty cool. I binge watched, as usual, I was binge watch other Marvel's Netflix shows, self-produced shows, and binge watch Iron Fist. This is the non-spoiler review of Iron Fist. And so it's basically an overall idea of how I feel about it. Um, Especially compared to other shows. That's actually a good point of reference compared to other shows. I first want to touch base on the other shows on Netflix, and you have Daredevil 1 and 2. Daredevil connects a lot to, well, they all connect to some degree, but it connects a lot to Iron Fist because of the Hand. The Hand being the main villain group as a whole, the network that's against the Iron Fist, and it's also against Daredevil. So Daredevil has a great origin. Well, it's not actually origin because it actually starts off. He's already fighting, and it kind of goes into origin in a sense because he's still growing as a fighter. He wasn't complete yet, so the first season he becomes complete. And when you look at also Jessica Jones, it's somewhat of origins, but not complete either because she's already been fighting for a long time. She's seen and done a lot of things. She's experienced. However, she's getting to the point to where she's getting deeper. And just something of like a trace of how she became who she is, and also how she fits in the world. So that, in a sense, is origins only because it's more complete who she is. And then you look at Luke Cage. We discover Luke Cage, but he's already been around. Flashback sequences going to now how he fits into the world. So that's somewhat of origins, but he's also in Jessica Jones too. So we have a sense who he is. So Iron Fist to me is the only one that feels completely origin. Well, completely like where, I mean, from scratch. You don't know anything unless you read the comics, which luckily I know a lot about it from the comics, and they take a lot of the source material complete from the comics. However, let's start with this. Before we go into the plot and all that stuff. I mean, basically the plot, because not a spoiler. I can't say too much. But in the comics, he does wear a mask. It's like a half mask. And this, he does not wear a mask. I kind of sniffled. I'm so sorry. But he does retain a lot of the power. I think, though, however, it's kind of weird. It's kind of like I'm used to him looking a certain way, and this he has like this beard and kind of like his squiggly hairs, and that's his real hair in real life. I mean, they make him more blonde for the show, but his hair is like touchy, so I understand that. I mean, that's not a big deal, but the beard just got away of his face. You couldn't see his face, you know what I'm saying, half the time. So I couldn't see a lot of the emotion he was trying to evoke, you know, through that beard. So it was kind of distracting to me. But even still, I try to see past that. And overall, I like his character. I want to get that straight up right away. I like his character. He is British in real life, and he's playing an American person. And he's believably American. I forget he's British. I'm like, wow, that's, you know, they're good at that. For a long time, I've seen a lot of British characters play American roles. You have no idea that they're originally British. Look at Rick Grimes, the guy that plays Rick on Walking Dead. You see him speaking in real life, like, what just happened? What? You know what I mean? It's like crazy, right? Somebody said he did a really good job with his accent, being American, or emulating American accent. So the basic synopsis, you know, not getting in the way, because this is like mostly public stuff. I mean, Danny Rand, the Rand family, I should say, his mother, himself, his father, they're on a plane, they're going, and they get crashed in flight in the Himalayan mountains, I believe, the Himalayan mountains, and he gets pulled into sort of this vortex that takes him to like a magical secret Buddhist monastery that doesn't exist into the on the map. Into the world, no one knows they're there. But of course, he's there for like 10 or 15 years. Comes back as a full-grown man. Pretty sure that was like 15 years. He's sleeping like 10 or 11 or something when he's there, and he comes back. Yeah, he's 25, so it's like 10. It's like 15 years. So he comes back into America for whatever reason. It's basically said on the show, and he gets into trouble because he's trying to fight the Hand in America, but the Hand is his mortal enemy. The Iron Fist is the enemy of the Hand, and vice versa. So that being said, it gets to that, but the only thing is that here's actually my main thing about the show. There are actually two things. I'm sorry, it's related. Of all the characters I mentioned, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, their roles are connected directly through like the jumping over. So there's a lot of character development because they're kind of jumping back and forth. You got Daredevil. Now they're jumping back and forth between characters to the Defenders, but the characters are so fleshed out. They're so thought out, and then it starts. Like it's already starting, and they're already in the flow of being who they are. This is an origin story, completely 100% origin story, not like a little bit, but complete. He does not know who he is as a person or as a man, and it's understandable because if you're a child in this place that's like away from the rest of the world, not just America, I mean the world. You haven't seen the world at all, dude. And I'm not even sure they have internet there. So I mean, they might, but I don't think so. And so he basically goes into America, not knowing anything in the world, and so that is not really shown in a way I think that's realistic. In the show, he's shown to kind of struggle a couple things. That's understandable, but he should struggle a lot more things. And that being said, I think I didn't want to have it to where he's like fumbling over things, and then the show hasn't even started yet. You don't want to kind of skip it. So, but it doesn't. It starts off when it happens. So, if you're gonna treat it with that respect, they should actually make it more realistic. Like, what's the Starbucks? What is this coffee? I know wine because I had Monastery, but I never seen beer. Things like that. This computer is so small. When I was a child, computers were like the size of like, a dresser drawer, or something like that. Something like that. I don't know. And he's using the internet. He's using paperwork, and he's a billionaire. And it's also public knowledge. I mean, he's equivalent to like Bruce Wayne money wise, a billionaire, and which is cool. But he doesn't really realize his resources to the best of his ability. That part makes sense because he's not used to money, so that makes sense. However, you still think he do a little bit more with it, and he seems more of a hippie than a monk because he has this big beard, which you can't really see his face, and that much. I mean, like you see like that, which is still expressive, but I'm so distracted because I can't see the jawline. I can't see the tension in his face, and it's like his hair kind of goes off to the side, so I keep looking at his hair like this. I'm looking at him, and anyways, it gets distracting, and I wish they could have changed the way he looked a little bit, and because he has a lot of things against him that he has to fight against. So you want to give him every chance you can for him to succeed, and they keep chipping away at him. Like they make hard to see his face with the beard. Like I said, they give him clothes like a hippie, but monks are hippies. I mean, literally, he looks like a hippie. Like he's wearing no shoes. The monks wear shoes when they travel. That's really weird. He's not wearing shoes, and then he sort of doesn't realize that how he looks is off-putting. And there's even part he goes, "How come everybody keeps saying that?" It's like, dude, even the monastery initial flashback of everybody else, like clean shaven, bald heads, shaved. and he's the only person with like all his hair. It's like, what's going on? He's like, he has like a mini fro with like his big beard, and I'm like, that makes no sense, In the comic book, he's clean shaven, shorter hair and like a mask, And this has no mask. Everybody knows who he is. I mean, basically. I mean, he's not like not everybody, but like he's not trying to hide it. Basically, what I'm trying to say. He's trying to Tony Stark it, and only Tony Stark and Luke Cage can kind of pull it off, And even Jessica Jones, like even though she isn't wearing a mask or anything, only Daredevil so far has worn a mask. Jessica Jones, it's like she's kind of like a chameleon in a sense, where she knows how to play a role. She knows how to like change her personality. She kind of like slides in and out of the shadows, and I think it's pretty impressive in her strength. But Danny Rand, he's very he stands out way too much. It's like he's not even trying to blend in at all. And it's like no tactical advantage, so he makes the odds against him. And he's also very innocent, which that is pretty compelling because he's been through so much, and he's suffered a great deal, and he still has that innocence, which is really cool. Unfortunately, it hurts them because the villains exploit that, which is realistic. So I like the fact that, because actually it helps pull the plot through very smoothly. I will say the plot moves smooth. However, only after the first 5 or 6 episodes. The first 5 or 6 episodes, definitely first four, but 5 or 6, it takes a while to get going, and so you have to be patient. And it is very taxing on that, so you have to know that, So that's the only thing. It takes a long time to get going. He seemed too much like a heavy than a monk to me, so it really gives him being very pious and spiritual, which he definitely had moments of being that, but it wasn't as believable as it could be. It could easily could have been corrected. Maybe second season 2. The supporting characters it carried a lot. The weight of the show was on the supporting characters. Ward, Misham, the brother of Joy Misham, and Joy Misham was really cool. They're the 49% stockholders and employees, like on the board for Rant Corporation. Danny Rant, 51%. So they definitely had the weight on their shoulders to carry the show because, like I said, since he didn't know who he is as a person yet, he can't put that much on him. You had to let him smooth out. You had to kind of like run its course for him to become the Iron Fist, and then, which is understandable. I respect that. This took a lot of patience, and then you had the, I believe Colin Wing. She was the Japanese Kota Bushido Blade supporting character with the Iron Fist, and through her eyes, you saw the Iron Fist and what he could be. Through her, you felt more of him. So she was so crucial in that show, and she really had a lot of weight. On top of that, her character really excelled on several levels. So that was impressive. The show, I would give like a 7 out of 10, to be honest. Like maybe a 7.5, but definitely a 7 out of 10 because you just have like the bar raised so high on Daredevil. That's pretty hard. It's hard to top that or even come close when you have a world it's not as fleshed out yet. As Daredevil just started out fleshed out. Everything was fit into place. You had Wilson Fisk, Daredevil. Holy crap! How are you gonna do that? No. So let's see season 2. I would not really judge the show as season 1 only because that he didn't have time to come until like towards the end. Really, to be honest, And even still, you're like, okay, there's still a lot to grow. It's like you just got out of college and started job. That's like the equivalent of that, So you don't really grade a person on the work ethic when they haven't had any experience of working. And I like him as a character. I just wish that stuck more of how I've seen him in the comics and how his character physically fights more in the comics. And in this he fights a lot, but in this one he still isn't sure of certain things he can do, and I really want him to do everything. So maybe that's presumptuous of us to think he can do that, or that when he just needs to start doing the whole Iron Fist thing, So, but overall, I binge watched it. I definitely enjoyed it, and I definitely felt it. So if it touches you, then it's worth watching the show. But 7 out of 10, guys. All right, like, share, subscribe. Thank you.